Kingcayne.
All right, what's going on, y'all? So, today's Gems and Gaming, man. I'm just gonna talk about what people probably hear all the time, but I mean, I think it's very important to kind of just remind people is to not pay attention to negativity. And when I mean don't pay attention to it, I mean don't give it any energy. I'll start and open up with a quick story, and then I'll just talk about why, people just got to be reminded of this because, you know, I play ball most likely every week. I try to work out basically every day except Sundays and Wednesdays, but I, uh, I play ball at least once a week, and we play. It's not like professional organized basketball, or what I mean by professional, I mean like it's not a league or anything like that. But I definitely go hoop, and we got a clock, and we keep score twos and threes, and we play full court. Like it's pretty dope. I've been going there since I don't know, maybe 6 years now. So it's really helpful for me to go and enjoy myself and invest in myself a little bit. So there's this one guy there who hasn't he hasn't played in a while, and he doesn't always show up, but he's a really negative individual. And haven't seen him in a while, and he came through today. And like I said, I work out all the time, right? And when I work out, I don't play. Like whatever I do, I do it to the full extent that I can do it. Whether I'm working, even if I'm doing this, I want it to be some form of entertaining. So every single week I get better and better at gyms and gaming. I invest in myself and everything that I do. Like I'm never going, half something. It's just not what I'm going to do. So when I work out, I'm also working out for basketball as well. Like I'm trying to make sure that I'm good, right? So I can actually enjoy my hobby. So this dude comes, ain't seen him in a minute, and look, we gonna completely ignore that shot that I shot. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna get the next one. But I ain't seen him in a minute, so I'm like probably cashing threes, and then I like airball one. And then he finally spoke after a while. He's been there. He probably watched me warm up and shoot all these shots and everything. And then finally, when I airballed, that's when he opened his mouth and was like, "Yo, why you so inconsistent with your shot?" And, I just ignored it. Like back in the day, I probably would have said something, but I just ignored it because it's like, man, some people are really like in your, some people will come around you just to talk smack. Like for no other reason. They don't ask how you doing. They haven't seen you in a while. They don't want you to I was trying to get a quick steal. They don't want you to, you know, even learn about them and what they've done or be better or anything like that. They just there to say something negative. And the crazy part about this whole story, I didn't even see him again after that. Like I was playing in the game, and then when I got out, he was gone. Right? So he came just to talk his smack, and then he bounced. He literally wanted to add nothing positive, no context to the game. He just wanted to come talk his trash and be out. Right? And what's wild to me is that, there are so many people like that and so many different scenarios like that, which is why you can't pay attention to negativity. Basically, don't give it any energy, because I'm telling you the story verbatim of what happened, right? So I know that it happened. So I'm obviously aware of it. But notice in my story, I told you I didn't give it any energy. I just let it slide, right? Like it is what it is. Like it annoyed me for sure. But I heard Dr. Eric Thomas say this. Think about a relationship, right? Your relationship, in any relationship, there are things you like about people and there are things you don't like about people. And and if you gave it to a percentage of how much you like somebody, if you're in a marriage, you probably are like 80-20, right? It's probably 80% of them you like, 20% of them you don't like. If you're in a really blessed relationship, it could be much higher on the like percentage. He said, like, you never really saw a marriage on 50-50 though. Like sometimes I like her, sometimes I don't. Like, you normally don't see that. But you will see 80-20 for the most part. And when something good is happening, we act like it's supposed to happen. We don't give it as much energy as when something bad happens. For example, it's really hard. I mean, my relationship's like 95-5. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm being honest with you, I'm pretty good in my. I'm not just saying that because she watches my YouTube. I actually, I really enjoy my marriage. But if I had to think of something that Kelly's probably done that annoyed me, I don't know. Maybe little stuff, right? But imagine if I paid attention to that 5% of annoying things that Kelly does, and I gave energy to that, and I never told Kelly how much I appreciated her for the 95% of the things that I like. Then that would shape my relationship. It would shape my mentality. It would shape Kelly's interactions with me. It would shape a lot of things. What happened, what you give energy to matters. It matters a whole lot. What you give energy to matters. So if you give energy to the 5% more than you give to the 95%, then what do you think the rest of your day is going to be like, or the rest of your week is going to be like? Because if you're focusing on the negative stuff, then everything around you is going to seem negative. I was talking to another guy after I left the court. He had a far different mentality. And, we were just catching up because I told him I just started my own business. I just started career coaching and career consulting, how I would say it, because I work with businesses too. And, he's just telling me just about his history, how he also started his own business a few years ago. And he wanted to try it out. His wife was supportive. Similar scenario. And, and I was talking to him as I was like, bro, I got saved in 2019. So my mentality ever since that day is pretty much this. I think I said this before on the Gems and Gaming, but I'm never focusing that much on the highs or the lows. In reality, I'm really just appreciating every second of every moment. If I'm being honest with you, like, you'll never catch me just, you'll never catch me not in, I don't know, like, I live in the moment basically, because, I think I said this before, but yesterday is the devil's territory, right? That's where he'll try to grab you and bring your attention back and be like, yo, look, remember you did this yesterday? How could you claim to be this? Or how could you want these things? Or how could you think you could possibly be anything more than what you were yesterday? Right? And if you think about, or if you have like issues or self or identity issues, you're always thinking about something that happened that you can't control from the yesterday. Right? So the future, tomorrow, that's God's territory. You can't control what's going to happen tomorrow. You can make all the plans you want, but you can't control that. You can, you can do whatever it is you want to try to plan a perfect day, but you don't know what's going to happen. For example, this could literally be the last Gems and Gaming that I do. I could die tonight. I could die tomorrow. I could die before I record the next one. Right? Like that very much is possible. So I can't, you know, I can't live my life pretending like I have control over tomorrow, because I don't. Right? So tomorrow belongs to God is another way to look at it. So we know the past is the devil's. Right? That's where he at. He loves it. He loves the place, and he loves trying to draw your attention back there. That's why social media is problematic at times, because people will use that to validate who you are today. They will use something that happened in the past and then post it constantly. Tomorrow belongs to God, so you can't worry about what's going to happen in the future, right? That's something you can't control. And what you have now, what does that leave you left with, is right now, the present. This is the only thing I can control. This is the only thing I can worry about. I can only think about and impact what's going to happen now. And I can only do that by controlling myself, right? I just finished with a client in my business. What I decided to do is just, because I didn't record Gems and Gaming last week on Twitch. So I decided to do is let me go ahead and record and stay consistent, right? And try to spread as much knowledge as I possibly can. All right, that's a choice that I have. And that's something I wanted to do. I wanted to spend time doing. And I can't worry about the fact that I didn't record last week, or if people are going to like it. I was worried about, people watching my show or people watching my stream, or I was worried about people man, I can't worry about that. I can only control what is going to happen for me right now. Right? And I love living this way. It helps me stay humble. It helps me stay zen. It keeps me focused and appreciative of now. My wife and I just dealt with something very traumatic. She had this cat named Ashton, my boy Ash, for 20 years. About 20 years or so. 19, but about 20 years. He was what we suspect 22 years old. And he just was the awesomest cat. Anyone that met Ashton always said they hated cats before they met Ash, right? They weren't a fan of cats before they met Ashton. And then when you meet him, you're like, oh, cats are pretty cool. Same with me. I didn't like cats. In fact, when my lady told me she had a cat, I was like, ooh, uh-oh. But then I met Ashton. And he was diagnosed with kidney disease in 2017, and the vet predicted that he wouldn't have long after that. Actually, a couple of weeks, you said. Ashton's last day on this beautiful planet was yesterday, November 17th, 2022. And he was diagnosed in 2017 when the doctor said he had 2 weeks. Every single day that Ash was, every single day that Ash was here, we appreciated and valued, because we were told that we wouldn't have those days, right? That's why, I keep my mind focused on now, because we never know how long we have, right? That's the point, right? Now I have to live with the beautiful memories of Ashton and the joy that he brings, and tells his story that maybe he'll bring other people cheer, right? If you want to see more on Ashton, my wife has a video of him on her YouTube, and I think it's pretty cool. But, that's why you should live in the moment and even treat your life like that too. You don't know how long you got. What are you so worried about all this negativity for? I don't understand it. This could be it. And do you want your last conversations or memories that you give to someone be negative? I don't think you do, right? And I'm not saying it's just so easy, just think positively. But it's a lot easier when you try to make that your priority, your effort, right? Like, like I said, I try to stay in the moment, you know. I used to be pessimistic for sure. I'm not stupid. I know how to think negative. I know how to look at news and only see the bad. Um, I also know how to, make something that could be beautiful for somebody seem just terrible and awful. I'm able to shape my mindset and mentality that way as well. But I don't make that my focus. In fact, I never plan to make that my focus. I never plan to think that way. I always plan to spread positivity because why not? What am I focused on being negative for? I don't understand. So that's my mentality. That's the way that I think. And I would just say that for anyone who probably needs to hear this and just needs to think of these things, that life is short. I think I did one on. Oh God, I think I did one on. I was playing Final Fantasy 14. No. I was playing Final Fantasy 7 remake, and I was just talking about how life is about perspective, right? Ugh. About how life is about perspective, and I was explaining how I saw something else traumatic, the loss of life, and I can't sit here and complain about a scenario when I know that it's someone out, who's living through such a tragedy that I described in that Gems and Game. Check it out if you're interested. So if everything is about perspective and about what you focus on, then that's the only thing that I'm saying about making sure that you keep your mentality, or you try not to give energy to negativity. Plain and simple. That might be the name. Don't give energy to negativity. Right? Like I think that's fair. I think it's healthy. People that go through depression, or at least in the experience that I've seen, a lot of people think about what makes them depressed, and they voice it so much, a lot. All right, the ones that I know that are going through depression. But there's also a friend of mine who was fighting a silent battle for a very, very, very long time and never really told anybody about it. I was blessed enough to get close to her where I found out certain things. And I say blessed enough because I wouldn't even have known that she was suffering the way that she did because she was quiet about it. But anytime I spoke with her, she was just always cheerful and happy. And that brought people around her also cheerful and happy, right? And then it was just such an amazing feeling to know that I could help. And she's doing a lot better now. I'm not trying to make it seem like her life just sucks, but it made me happy to know that I could help contribute to easing her stress a little bit by also just talking about just positive things. I'm lowering his free throw percentage. That's probably not good. But just positive things, just spreading wisdom, knowledge, telling funny stories and all of these things. But she gave that positive energy out, and I was also giving that back to her because she had to be the one that was staying positive for so many people. That imagine if you're that negative person just constantly fueling negativity, or if someone is on their last leg and they just need someone to understand, or someone to be kind to them, but we're so focused on what people think, or we're so focused on we're so focused on the bad that we miss a real good opportunity to spread joy. You know, just one way to think about it, right? Like, when I started posting on YouTube and I started my own business and I started like just being me a little bit more in public, I found a lot of comfort in the people that just said one positive comment. Just saying, "Oh, that's good that you did that. Oh, I'm proud that you did that. Oh, that's awesome." Or, "Oh, your YouTube's cool. Or your YouTube's funny." I don't, they never say it's like what I heard this one dude say. Well, look how many views you got, or look how many subscribers you got. It's like, okay, I can see that. Thank you. But where that's like annoying a little bit, that doesn't mean, when people gave me a compliment, that holds way more weight for me than any negative comment that anyone could say. Because I know that there are people who support me regardless of those things that people want to mention and people want to use to belittle you. So it's like, okay, cool, right? I have an inconsistent shot, according to someone. Everyone else is like, yo, you really improved, and I could see that you taking this serious. That's actually really inspiring, considering that, we're not like going to a professional league. The fact that you putting in work just to improve is amazing, right? Like, those are the comments and things that I look for and pay attention to, and that keeps me focused on getting better and better and better. Someone who's negative will try to make you feel worse about yourself and go down and down and down. And sometimes people are really projecting, right? Sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes they never even was told anything positive. So they just gotta project their negative thoughts onto you. Something like, honestly, for the most part, it's probably not even about you. Like honestly, it could really just be that they feel kind of low, or they could be going through something, right? And if they are, then let them go through it, but don't contribute to it. Stay positive. Stay positive. Continue to uplift them, or avoid them, but don't just avoid the situation, but do not contribute to the negativity. For what? For what? It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help them. And in fact, if think of it like this. I think I mentioned this before, but you investing your time is extremely important. In fact, some of the most richest and successful and powerful people always talk about how they invest their time. All right. And I'm not one of the richest or most powerful people. So I'm just letting you know this is what they say from books that I've read and articles that I've seen and plenty of different things. You can fact check this. But they have a routine and they stick to such a routine and they make sure that they are constantly improving and aiming towards their goal. Constantly. Right? I guarantee you they were faced with all sorts of negativity and comments like actions, events, tragedies, whatever the case may be. But you got to stay, you got to keep your mind on the prize. Like, you got to keep your eye on the prize. Like, you cannot be concerned about things that might go bad. I mean, just for what? I'm telling you, for what? It's not helping. But what is helping is that you're staying consistent. And if you're always a positive person, that's what people are gonna remember the most about you. It's like, yo, no matter what happened, I always knew that I could, or I always knew that, I can come to you with something, or I always knew that I don't know, just they just remember, like, people remember stuff, right? You don't know what people remember, but people remember things. And if you're a positive person and you continue to invest in that, you continue to invest your time into positivity, you never know. One day somebody might call you and be like, "Hey, John, like, now I started my own business and I actually need someone that can, I don't know, whatever the case may be. Like, their name, your name will be on their lips from something that you did positive and remain in their mind, right? Or the opposite could be true. You could be in their mind for something bad that you did a really long time ago, and they're living what? In the past, and they're stuck on that negativity, and then they coming at your throat. Don't even give them fuel or ammo, right? Like, don't, for what? You can shape the course of your life just by how you invest your time. It's very true. It's very true. All right. So you know, do not feed into negativity. Do not give it any energy. I mean, for what? If there's someone negative in your life, it's not going to be helpful. Uh, wow, that's funny. What's not going to be helpful is you also being negative. In fact, and if it's hard to stay, positive around them, then don't say anything at all. But the point being is, don't add fuel to the fire. There's this. This isn't about anger, but there's this quote, and it said, anger is like drinking. What? Anger is like drinking poison, or holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. What do you think is? It's not about anger, but you don't think it's any different from negativity? Being negative for the sake of being negative. Who do you think you're impacting? You might hurt other people with your actions and your words, but that negativity staying with you. That person might go home after your interaction and have a beautiful day, but you're the one who's still stuck with the negativity, probably laughing with other negative people or joking with other negative people. For what? That is corny. It really is, right? Anyone tells you different, then please explain to me please explain to me the benefit of being negative. How does it benefit anybody? I need to understand now. Been living for a while. Some would say a long time. Some would say too old to be gaming. That's how old I am, right? I've been living for a while, and I can go ahead and tell you right now that nothing I've seen in the past is beneficial from being negative. In fact, I've seen a lot more good in the long run of your life just from spreading positivity. So just leave you something to think about. Let me see. Let's answer these interview questions, and then we'll be out. I can't hear anything. Like I said, like I don't have the audio on, and I hope it's not too loud. When I play 2K, sometimes it's loud. Let's see what Luka did. Trash. 17 points. If Luka was actually my teammate, I think I'd joke with him like that and just be like, "Oh man, that's garbage." My player had 9 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 5 steals. Listen, I'm just a team player. I just make sure that we get the dub. I got a plus minus of 30, right? And Luka got a plus minus 22. Like, come on. But no, by the way, I do like playing with Dallas. I'm rooting for their team this year. These guys are pretty cool. At least to play with on 2K for sure, and I'm sure they probably are awesome in real life as well. So I'm rooting for them. But obviously, it's still Hawks Nation. Let's go Hawks. But yeah, think about what I said today though. Like that's what I leave you with. I mean, I think it's important to talk about these things and remind ourselves of these things. And if this was helpful, then great. And if it wasn't, stop being negative.